एक टॉपिक जिस पे हम तकरीबन हर रोज़ बात करते थे, करनी चाहिए भी, आज भी करेंगे, वो है पाकिस्तान में आने वाले तबाहकुन सैलाब, फ्लड्स, डेविस्टेशन, कैटास्ट्रफी, जिसने पाकिस्तान में एक इतनी बड़ी मुश्किल में हम सबको डाल दिया एज ए नेशन, एज इकोनॉमी वाइज और डिफरेंट फ्रंट्स पे, कि अभी तक हम उससे नहीं निकल पाए हैं और शायद अभी हमें सालों लगें उससे रिकवर करने में।
बल्कि आई वुड से कि इस साल पाकिस्तान में ऐसा सैलाब आया है जिसकी तबाही दुनिया भर ने पहले कभी नहीं देखी और
इदराक किया उसका,
बिल्कुल
एक्नॉलेज
किया है कि ये वाकई जो भी इसकी वजूहात थी, जो कि ऑब्वियसली क्लाइमेट चेंज एक बहुत बड़ी वजह है, जो होता कहीं और है और असर जो है वो हमारे मुल्कों पे होता है, तो ये चीज़ बड़ी बावर होकर सामने आई है। 30% से ज़ायद रकबा ज़ेर आब आया है और मुतासरीन की तादाद जो है, काश कि हम कह सकते जी हज़ारों लाखों की बात हो रही है, लेकिन नहीं, करोड़ों में है। तो करोड़ों लोग जो हैं वो डिस्प्लेस हुए हैं, बेघर हुए हैं, हालात अब भी मामूल पर नहीं आए और लोग अब भी बेघर हैं, उनके पास वापस जाने को जगह नहीं है। वुड यू बिलीव इतने महीने बाद भी बहुत सी ऐसी जगह हैं जहाँ से पानी नहीं अभी तक उतरा, तो उन्होंने वापस जाके रिहेबिलिटेशन क्या करनी है। और ऐसे वक्त में उन सब की इमदाद और बहाली सिर्फ हुकूमत की बस की बात नहीं है, बल्कि बहुत से बाकी प्लेयर्स जो हैं उनको भी बीच में आना पड़ा।
और बहुत से ममालिक ने जहां हमारी ऑलरेडी इस सिलसिले में मदद की है, मदद का सिलसिला जारी है। जर्मनी भी इस सिलसिले में पाकिस्तान की मदद को आगे आया है और पाकिस्तान में जर्मनी के सफ़ीर डॉक्टर एल्फ्रेड ग्रानिस, जो कि इस्लामाबाद में तैनात हैं जर्मनी की तरफ से, अभी 4 माह ही हुए हैं इनकी तैनाती को, इन्होंने बहुत से इक़दाम लिए हैं। और साथ ही चूँकि सिंध का और बलोचिस्तान का एक बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा मुतासर हुआ है, इसलिए कराची में काउंसिल जनरल जो मौजूद हैं जर्मनी के, हिज एक्सेलेंसी डॉक्टर रूडिगर लॉट्स, उन्होंने भी बहुत से इक़दाम अपने तय यहाँ लिए हैं। तो हमारे साथ ये दोनों मौजूद मेहमान मौजूद हैं। वी वुड लाइक टू वेलकम आवर ऑनरेबल गेस्ट, हिज एक्सेलेंसी Ambassador of Germany to Pakistan, Mr. Alfred Granis, and Consul General in Karachi, Dr. Rudiger Lotz.
I think we'll start the conversation with Mr. Granis. Welcome to Pakistan.
Thank you very much.
I don't know how to say this, but this has been a very difficult time to be in Pakistan because of all the floods that we saw earlier a few months back. You had the chance to visit Gwadar recently, if I'm right. What did you see there? What did you notice? Is that your first outing? No, well, first would be Karachi out of Islamabad. Second, Gwadar. How was that?
It was a fascinating experience because Gwadar, in that sense, is always for us a bit of a mysterious place because the things is the port of Gwadar and all the things, stories that go around there. So having seen it myself or ourselves now firsthand, having an impression, I would say it is a very special place with very special people, and also the support and all the development that's planned there, big visions. But I would say there is some potential for it to really develop, and that was also the reason why we were there, to have a look and see whether there is also this could be interesting also for German companies, German industry, to invest around there. So that yeah. We are not the companies to invest, but what I would say is they should have a look, and that was also what we will tell them.
Nice.
That certainly can be a great opportunity for Pakistan and for Germany both. Dr. Rudiger, since you have been posted in Karachi, and a lot of areas adjoining Karachi in Sindh were affected massively. There is still stagnant water in a few areas left, although much of it has gone into the sea. But did you get a chance to visit some of the flooded areas, and how has Germany been able to help so far?
Yeah, we visited some of the flooded areas. I was, for example, to Tando Jan Muhammad. And of course, it's quite devastating to see that you have really floods, water on fertile land to the horizon. You have people living in tents on the streets, kids who cannot go to school, no health facilities. So there really is a huge need. When I was there, we provided food for 4,000 families for 2 months, for example. I think these are the little things that one can do to try to help. Beyond that, as a government, we try to support Pakistan with funding, also through UN organizations. I think the overall amount is now around 108 million euro, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And we will keep doing that, because I think it is really a challenge to all of us. It's not a Pakistani problem is a global problem, climate change, and Pakistan has seen the consequences, unfortunately.
I mean,
Indeed.
if you had to, because everybody who goes there and witnesses it themselves, we have our correspondents and reporters who tell us how it is. We are very interested in knowing what were the key points that you thought that these are the areas within such a big disaster that need special attention. Maybe it's medical care, you know, primarily, or maybe it is education, because there are so many avenues to this disaster. So what did you think were the topmost points that one needs to work at?
Well, look, the first thing is the short-term humanitarian assistance, which is the things that you described: medical aid,
and
health
food
issues, food, especially food,
Water.
Water, clean water too.
sanitation.
But in the long run, I think one has to address what to do to prevent that. What can we do to prevent that and to limit the damage done? And I think that is something where also experts have to come together. I think we are also willing to provide experts who can somehow come with their expertise.
The world probably has to come together, because the world has contribution, and Pakistan has faced a very dire consequence of it as far as the carbon emission and climate change is concerned. Mr. Ambassador, the initial reaction is obviously to provide immediate relief and help. But later on, and we are in winters now, and this catastrophe has been going for quite a few months now, then comes the stage of rehabilitation and reconstruction. So how has Germany been able to help in that regard?
Oh, all right. Just to say a few words, we have to be careful not to declare the humanitarian crisis over. So we have to keep on also addressing that.
Indeed.
Because in the next few months, that is where the main focus will have to be. Because reconstruction and rehabilitation is a long-term process. Where we need a proper assessment what has to be done, and also we are part of that process. There will be a first conference now, most likely in early January, where the government of Pakistan and the UN will act as co-hosts, where also Germany will go, and where we'll see what can and has to be done. But that is a long-term process. A long-term process which will cost a lot of money, and which will have to be done also gradually. Because what we do not want, and Pakistan does not want, is that you reconstruct something which hasn't proven to be a good and resilient infrastructure if something else happens. So that is where we have to concentrate on. So it's very difficult to come up with concrete numbers. What will Germany do in reconstruction? Because we have to first properly assess. But one thing, and then start a process that will go over years, because no, let's not kid ourselves, this is a long-term thing. But
Indeed.
what I can say and what I can promise is that we will not walk away, and we will be there, and we will be part of that building back better, or doing a resilient reconstruction process. Sure. We will be there. So, but again, it is a process that has just started now and has to be done properly and carefully. Otherwise, the result will be washed away with the next flood.
Will not be sustainable.
It would be the same probably then, if not done carefully.
The government of Pakistan obviously is trying its best to sort of undertake an assessment of the amount of damage, or how much or how long it will take for rebuilding or reconstruction. Are other countries, including Germany, for instance, a part of that assessment process, or you are going to rely totally on the government of Pakistan and maybe then see how much of contribution in terms of manpower, in terms of ideas? There are so many ways to contribute that can be done then. So assessment part is Pakistan's responsibility, is that right?
The assessment part is Pakistan's responsibility in cooperation and help with mainly the World Bank, who are doing numbers and putting the numbers together and so on. So that, of course, is something we are not so deep inside. We are there also to try to understand where those figures come from and how they came about. But then the coordination process and the consultation process starts afterwards on the basis of the numbers put together by the government of Pakistan and the World Bank.
Makes
That's
sense.
basically those two main actors.
Makes sense.
All right, Mr. Ambassador, since you are here, you have graced us with your presence. So other than the flood, we would certainly like to know from both of you that what are the areas that Germany is doing already or planning to expand this coordination, and this bilateral cordial relationship, how do we see it expanding?
Yeah, but we'll hold you on that answer.
Thought.
We have to take a
short break and then we'll...
So, we have our esteemed guest with us, हमारे साथ ही हैं और बहुत ही interesting conversation भी है और ख़ास तौर पे पाकिस्तान की इस flood disaster के बाद सैलाब के बाद किस तरह मदद की जा सकती है, किन किन जगहों पे मदद की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है, उस पर हम बात कर रहे हैं।